What is going on, everyone? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good, because it is good to feel good. I'm just going to do this as a very quick video. I don't think there's going to be any edits or anything whatsoever because, you know, it's very late and I can't be bothered to edit this video. But anyway, it's Wednesday the 7th of June 2017. It's just gone midnight here in the UK, and in less than 24 hours, well actually no, that's not true, in about 31 hours I guess, is when the polls open for voting. And you know, we can all go down to our local polling station, cast a vote and decide, you know, who is going to be running this country. And I'm going to answer a simple question today about who I'm going to be voting for, and quite simply, and just to put it into perspective, I'm going to be voting Labour. Yep, I just said that, Labour. Over the past few years, you know, I've suddenly started becoming very interested in politics, and I remember in the last general election that happened 2 years ago, I did in fact vote Labour as well. I really liked Ed Miliband at the time. I think, you know, he was a pretty good leader, but of course he resigned. And then of course we got Jeremy Corbyn, who is probably the blessing we were all wanting as, you know, a Labour Party supporter. And I'm going to be completely honest, Jeremy Corbyn is probably the most genuine and honest politician that is in the House of Commons right now. He's had years of experience, you know, he's been an MP since 1983. He's quite a big activist for anti-war and anti-nuclear. He was a big advocate against the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he's brilliant. He is the leader. I would very much like to see him as our Prime Minister, and that's why, you know, I'm not saying you should, but you know, if you are a Labour supporter and you don't, you know, you are going to vote Labour, then, you know, this is why I like Corbyn. You know, he's got so many promises, reverse austerity cuts that have been made since 2010. You know, with public services and welfare. He wants to nationalise the railway, and, you know, he wants to scrap tuition fees. And, you know, it's amazing. You know, he's got so many of these promises, and that's why I think, you know, a vote for Labour is a great vote for the future. And I want to quickly just talk about Theresa May and why I don't like her particularly. She's not the strong and stable leader that she perceives herself to be. In fact, I think she's, you know, the exact opposite, weak and unstable, should I say. And, like, I've not been a big fan of Theresa May. Well, I'm not a fan of Theresa May, should I say. Like, after the EU referendum happened last year, in which David Cameron would announce his resignation as Prime Minister, it meant that, oh, we were going to get a new Prime Minister. Who would we get? This person? Would we get that person? Who did we get? We got Theresa May, and I thought, yeah, it should be alright. But no. Just no. At the time, she was, like, anti-Brexit. She wasn't in favour of leaving the European Union. And then suddenly, considering the fact she is the queen of U-turns, she then turned her opinions around and said, yep, we're going to go for a hard Brexit. And just suddenly, she was in favour of Brexit. And yeah, it meant that, you know, she wanted to pass the triggering of Article 50 in the House of Commons, which got declined a few times in a court case. And then it eventually happened, and it meant, yeah, we're going to leave the EU. It's set in stone. We're not going back. There is no going back. We are leaving the EU. And as much as I am anti-Brexit, you know, we can't avoid that. And then also, she is the one who is ironically responsible for this general election happening, because back last year, she said that during the course of Brexit there was going to be no general election until 2020. Well, seeing as she is the Queen of U-turns, she then decided to, you know, announce her bid for a general election, and then just suddenly we have a 2/3 majority vote that confirms, yep, we're going to have a general election. Coolio. I have a very simple ABC motto, and that is anyone but Conservatives. Like, I just cannot stand the Conservative Party. Like, for example, here's a leaflet that I got through my door the other day, and here's a little few things that this Conservative government are going to promise for this election. What this election is about: strong and stable leadership in the national interest with Theresa May and the Conservatives, or weak and unstable coalition government led by Jeremy Corbyn, which is of course political propaganda from the Conservatives. Every vote for Theresa May and the Conservatives will strengthen Britain's hand in the Brexit. Only Theresa May has the plan and the proven leadership, that's bullshit, to deliver the right deal for Britain and abroad and a better deal for ordinary working people here at home. I call bullshit on that as well, because it's just simply going to be a lot better for the more wealthy and the more rich people, and you know, the big CEOs behind these corporations, that, you know, the massive fucking tax dodgers. Theresa May and the Conservatives will stick to the plan for a stronger Britain and take the right long-term decisions for a more secure future and establish Britain as the strongest country in Europe in economic growth and national security. Build a stronger economy that rewards people who work hard and creates secure and well-paid jobs. That seems like a lie. We will make sure there is growth and prosperity around the whole country. Are you sure about that? Because it just does not seem very true. Nah, I call bullshit. Provide real opportunity for all. Again, that's only going to be for the rich and powerful. You know, us, you know, working class people and more lower class people, we're going to be the ones to suffer in this Conservative government. We will give everyone a chance to get on with life. Are you sure about that? Because I feel like you're just trying to benefit to more towards the richer people with this. By building enough affordable housing and making sure there is good school place for every child. Are you sure? Because in the schools at the moment, with the funding cuts that are happening, we are getting, you know, more overcrowded classrooms, teachers are being cut, and that doesn't seem likely. No, I do not agree with that. Build a more secure and united nation by taking action against the extremists who divide our society and standing up to the separatists who want to break up our country. Okay, maybe I agree with that. You know, I am not one for extremism, I'm not one for separatism, but yeah, I'm against that. That's probably the one thing in this leaflet that I actually agree with. There's more! There's more! Strong and stable leadership in the national interest. We need a general election now to secure the strong and stable leadership the country needs to see us through Brexit and beyond. A general election will now strengthen our negotiating hand in Europe. It is the only way to ensure we have strong leadership, certain stability for a full 5 years, not just up to the point at which we leave the European Union, but beyond it too. We have a one-off chance to hold an election while the European Union agrees its negotiation position and before the detailed talks begin. This decision cannot be delayed and needs to happen now. If we don't have an election now, we will have uncertainty and instability. Well, we are going to have more of that if we vote the Conservatives, because negotiations with the European Union will reach their most difficult stage in the run-up to the next general election. The choice at this election is between strong and stable leadership in the national interest or weak and unstable coalition government led by Jeremy Corbyn, signed by Theresa May, our Prime Minister, to which I call bullshit. Major bullshit. I cannot fucking stand this. And look, there's more political propaganda. It's our choice at this general election. So, strong, stable leadership in the national interest, or a coalition of chaos with Jeremy Corbyn, to which I call bullshit on that. Again, from Theresa May. Look at me as I rip up her face. Yeah, I do not like Theresa May. I think you can probably tell by this now. So yeah, I will not be voting Conservative. And now for a few words from my Labour candidate. So, 6 reasons why you should vote Labour. Police cuts to our police in this area have left to our force officially rated as inadequate. Under Labour, they will fund 10,000 more police to keep our communities safe. Sounds like a good idea. Education cuts are taking place right now. Teaching numbers are being cut, and our local schools are ranked 142nd out of 150 nationally. Labour will increase funding for schools and guarantee quality apprenticeships and adult skills training. NHS and social care. The Tories continue to underfund the NHS, and we have seen local services failing under privatisation. Labour is committed to keeping the NHS, including mental health services, publicly funded, and will integrate social care for older and disabled people. For housing, it is harder than ever for people to get on the housing ladder. Under Labour, 30% of new housing was social rented. Now it is only about 10%. Only 10% of the new development will be affordable housing. Under Labour, they will end insecurity for private renters by introducing rent controls secure tenancies and a charter of private tenant rights, and we'll get local councils building social housing again. Climate change. Plans to cut local buses in this area will push us to relying on cars, increasing air pollution and CO2 emissions. The Conservatives have removed the subsidies for solar energy panels, making it more difficult to protect the earth for future generations. Under Labour, they will support the transition of a low-carbon economy. We will curb increases in energy prices rather than allowing the big six energy companies to carry on making vast profits at our expense. And for equality, Labour has always championed equality, will continue to do so. Labour keeps its promises. And of course, for the many, not the few. So yeah, where I stand in this general election is that I would rather have 5 years under, you know, a prime minister. You know, he's probably would be the most genuine prime minister that we've ever had in this country, and you know, he's got a lot of promises, and I definitely think he's going to deliver. I would rather have that than, you know, 5 more years under a Conservative government where we know we're going to continuously get underfunded. I think under a Conservative government, I'm going to say this right now, but I feel like we're going to go into a state of decline, you know, with our NHS. Schools are going to be absolutely fucked, if no better choice of word other than fucked. Social care, it's just gonna go all awry, and it's not the way forward for this country. And yeah, make a wise decision on Thursday, and you know, vote from your heart, should I say, and do that whole ABC motto, which is anyone but Conservatives. So yeah, that's me on my position on who I'm voting for. So yeah, oh gosh, I didn't think I would be making one of these videos, but you know, I wanted to just, you know, get my political opinions across, and you know, because this is my opinions, I'm entitled to my own opinions, and if you don't agree with them, then you know, you can go away and, you know, have your own opinions, because I love the thing that in this country and throughout this world, we're all entitled to our own opinions, and of course I want to vote Labour. Thank you very much for watching, and like, comment, subscribe and share the love. See ya.